I was thinking back to when I was completely new to backpacking and remembering some of the things that I brought on trail that were completely unnecessary, maybe even ridiculous, and added extra weight to my pack. You know, things like a compass, a paper map, a chair, and more than my 6 squares of allotted TP per day. Okay, those aren't the things I'm talking about. For real though, there are some things on this list that you might be packing that are creating extra weight, extra bulk, and likely extra expense for yourself. So let's dive into the 5 things you don't need while you're backpacking. Remember, this is my list. If you disagree, well, keep that to yourself or kindly type that in the comments below. Years ago, I was on a backpacking trip when plans changed and everyone in my group came off the mountain in a different direction than expected. The next day, they all had to return back to work and I alone had to go back in and pick up the camping gear for 4 people. I loaded up whatever was left in the camp and I realized just how annoying extra clothes were, specifically pants. That day I realized how bulky and how heavy an extra pair of pants really is. So the first item that you don't need is pants. Well, I mean extra pairs of pants in your pack or any extra fully duplicate clothing items. Think layers, ability to repair, and how you can always hike out in your undies in a pinch. Number 2, big fuel canisters. When I first started backpacking, I packed my fears. One of my fears was running out of fuel on the mountain. I can honestly tell you I've never run out of fuel on a trip. Not only that, but the smaller size fuel canisters can cook a whole lot more food than you think that they can. Worst case scenarios, you have to eat a cold soaked mountain house or start a fire. Number 3, full-sized multi-tools. As a kid and a Boy Scout, I always carried a Gerber or Leatherman to be prepared. I took that motto and the tools on the trail with me. After thousands of miles, I can honestly tell you that you don't need a big multi-tool or knife on the trail. I often get by with just a razor blade packed in my first aid kit. Number 4, extra cooking gear. 1 pot, 1 spoon, and some Ziplocs can go really, really far. Frying pans, collapsible bowls, and cups, well, they just aren't needed. I packed them a lot in the beginning and dropped them pretty quickly. Heck, now you can even get reusable Ziplocs. Leave the extras and get as much titanium gear as you can. Heavy steel spoons or pots should be phased out of your kit quickly. Speaking of titanium, did you know when you join the Live Ultralight membership, you get a free OV long-handled polished bowl spoon? Yep, go check out the savings account style membership, get a free spoon, and start saving on every gear purchase. Okay, last, and the one you've been waiting for. The 5th thing that you don't need to take backpacking is your friends. That's right, once you drop that baggage, you can really move down the trail and enjoy the experience. Okay, I'm just kidding. Sharing adventures with friends is a massive part of the experience. No, the 5th thing on the list is tent poles. I bet you didn't see that one coming. But seriously, when I think back to my first backpacking trip, I packed in a nearly 8-pound 2-person tent. Now there are so many amazing options for non-freestanding tents that use trekking poles, which I think everyone should be hiking with anyways, or they use half as many poles as a typical freestanding tent. Packing poles can be a pain in the butt and they add weight to your pack. Get comfortable with the idea of a non-freestanding tent. Use your trekking poles to pitch your tent and enjoy more space, most of the time, in the tent and less weight and bulk in your backpack. You can also find great 1-person tent options that allow you to not need to move up to a 2-person tent to keep your gear out of the rain. I'll link at least one tent in the description down below. Okay, there you have it, my top 5 things that you don't need to go backpacking. I've seriously taken all of these things myself and learned the hard way. Take it from me, you can make much better life decisions. Drop in the comments what you think people don't need to bring backpacking, subscribe, and we'll see you guys out on the trail.